You're up.
Kelly Panzer. We're not on the we're not.
Oh, you're on the air.
We're on the air. Good
Right
good
now?
morning. We're right now.
All right.
We are live. There we are. Now we can see
are.
our beautiful faces. Good morning and welcome to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee with Indy Boomer, and I'm sitting here this morning with Julia Lowe from CarDon and Associates, which we are going to talk about in just a moment. But before we get started, I want to talk real quickly about that is our January issue of Indy Boomer Magazine that you can pick up at any Kroger or Marsh store in Indianapolis and the surrounding areas. Be sure and do that. That's Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, on the cover. Also, we want to thank Logan Street Signs and Banners and Noblesville Trophy for the opportunity to have this show and be able to talk about what we want to talk about.
It's always good to talk about what we want to talk about.
Of course, and if we can find somebody who will listen, that's even better.
That's even better. That is.
Anyway, we're talking about CarDon and Associates, and they have been with Indy Boomer Magazine since we started 6 years ago. Believe it or not, this month is 6 years. They are featured in our Boomer Plus section, and our Boomer Plus section is for baby boomers who are helping their parents. And what we have tried to do is include information in there that baby boomers need to know when they're trying to help their parents. And it's a great segue to our topic this morning, that is planning ahead.
Planning ahead.
Before we do that, though, tell them about your facilities. Since it's Hamilton County TV, we'll stick to Hamilton County.
Okay.
But
Awesome. I absolutely can.
I know you can.
So, first of all, CarDon and Associates is a family-owned company. We're based in Bloomington, Indiana.
Right.
Carol and Donna Moore, husband and wife, started the company in the 70s, and their kids have carried it on today. Mm-hmm. So, it's truly family-first senior living. It's family taking care of family, and we think of our staff and our buildings as family. We think of our residents as family. We just want to make sure that we give quality care and treat people the way that we would want our parents to be treated.
Yeah.
So in Hamilton County, we have Hamilton Trace in the Reserve, and that's in Fishers.
Yes.
And that is a full continuum of care from independent living to assisted living to skilled care, long-term care, memory care, you name it, we've got it at that campus.
One of my favorites, that's where my mother is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
Yes.
Harbor Manor and the Lodge is in Noblesville.
Uh-huh.
And it's a beautiful campus set back in the woods. They have assisted living, they have long-term care, rehab to home, and long-term memory care.
And that's just off State Road 38?
38.
Yes. Yep.
It's really nice.
And it's kind of nestled back in there.
It is. It's nestled
nice.
back. There's a condo neighborhood behind them, so you really do feel like you're in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
We have Carmel Health and Living, which is right in the heart of Carmel at 116th and Rangeline Road on Medical Drive.
Right.
And that is just a great old building.
It's been there forever.
It's been there forever, but it's been redone.
Yeah.
And we have long-term care. We have DeVita dialysis on site, so we do dialysis on site there, which is wonderful for some of our residents. As well as we have independent living, which is the Terrace, and then we have Copper Trace, which is our newest community, and that's at 146th and Ditch, kind of West Carmel, Westfield area.
Right.
And that's a beautiful new building.
Right.
It has assisted living, long-term care, rehab to home, and long-term memory care.
Okay. And I was just telling Julia before we got on the show, I've been hearing more and more positive things about Carmel Health and Living in Carmel. People are enjoying it. The executive director is embraced in the community with the people, and it's a great thing.
Yeah,
it's
great to hear because Carmel, we acquired that building about 9 years ago, and our administrator, our staff have just embraced everybody there, and it's important. It's a great place. It is.
Yeah, because a building's a building, but it's the people that are inside that really make or break if it's really, really good, and that's good to know. Yeah. Okay, we want to talk about planning ahead.
Right.
Tell me your thoughts on that.
So you can plan ahead for all kinds of things. So I'm a baby boomer.
Yep.
I'm a caregiver and a baby boomer, and I have kids and a husband, so I'm busy like everybody else.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't in this industry, I don't know that I would know what's out there and what's available.
Oh, you wouldn't.
So I need to plan ahead for myself, and I need to plan ahead for my mom. Mm-hmm. Because what happens if my mom all of a sudden needs some type of care, and I don't know what's out there? I'm going to rely on somebody at a hospital handing me a piece of paper and saying, choose one of these.
Yeah. With no knowledge.
With no knowledge. And I want to know where my mom's going to go and what kind of care she's going to get.
Right.
So planning ahead can be all different phases. I encourage everyone to get out and visit senior communities around you.
Yeah.
Look at rehabs, rehab to home. So mom might just be in the hospital for a minor surgery but needs some strengthening before she goes home. Does she have insurance? Does she have a certain type of Medicare replacement plan? Who takes that? And it does change a lot.
Yes.
But what's available near your house? Because you don't want mom to be an hour away,
Right.
because that's what was on the list, and you want her near your home so you can visit.
Right.
So get out, find out what's near your house, what's near your parents' house, what's available. Do they have long-term care? Do they have just rehab to home? Do they have assisted living? Assisted living has changed a lot over the years. So assisted living is kind of like living on a cruise ship. It's really
Yeah, it is nice.
It is really nice, and it's a great option sometimes for downsizing. If mom just needs a little bit more care, a little bit more
Yeah, and you can add on as needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So get to know what's out there.
Well, and two things you said. One
Yes.
is you're looking for your mom and yourself, and that's what a lot of
Yes.
baby boomers are doing. They may not be looking for themselves, but the information they learn for their parents,
Absolutely.
they have in their mind, they're more educated than they were before.
Absolutely. And my husband this year had knee surgery, and he was lucky, but he may have had to go to rehab because maybe his surgery didn't go exactly as planned.
Right.
He's only in his mid-50s, so if I wasn't in this industry, I would have had absolutely no idea
Right.
what type of rehab was out there.
Right. Well, at least you do know
Yes,
now.
I do.
But I want to say this: when you're looking for your parents, because there's always an incident, as you well
Always.
know, that forces people to have to find a place for their folks. If you are proactive, which we are both suggesting that you should be,
Yes.
when you're, to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I would be looking for that rehab that has either assisted living or 24-hour skilled care.
Yes.
Because sometimes when they're older, it's not going to work for them to come back home. So if they're already in the rehab, they already are learning the facility, they already
Absolutely.
know. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had this experience with my mother-in-law who we kept her, we did everything we could to keep her safe at home. She had a hospital stay, went to rehab, and she was just not able to go back home safely. And that happens sometimes. So yes, she was in a community that had rehab to home, and she transitioned to long-term care. And she actually was happier than she'd been in years because she had the socialization, the care. It's amazing what happens when we do what we're supposed to do, when we eat 3 meals a day and we take our medication. It's amazing how well you do.
Right.
So know what's out there, know what's available. If you have long-term care insurance, any of our communities, our business office manager can help go through that long-term care policy with you and let you know exactly what it covers, because they are all different.
Are you finding very many people have long-term care insurance?
It's coming up more and more.
Is it? Okay,
it is. It's
good.
coming up more and more. The policies that were written in the 70s and 80s are completely different than the policies today.
Oh, I bet.
And so the terminology, sometimes it will say just nursing care, and what does that mean, and what does that cover? So there's a lot of different terminology that our business office managers can help you go through and figure out what does this really cover and what does this really mean, so that you can take full advantage of what you paid for. So know your long-term care insurance if you have it. If you have a Medicare replacement plan, or you have something from Anthem or UHC, United Healthcare, some rehab facilities don't take those insurances.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. You have to
I
have
didn't know that.
You have to have a special contract with them. Now, all the buildings in Hamilton County for CarDon and Associates, we take those insurances.
Okay.
We take almost every insurance.
That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, so there's a lot that don't. So you may think, oh, I want mom to go here, but they don't take your insurance.
Right. And you know something else that I think is important. You know, when my folks went in, they went in as private pay.
Right.
But, you know, that can suck you dry pretty fast.
Yes.
So I think it's important, if you are not a millionaire or you don't have a ton of money, that you maybe do go in as private pay, but you make sure those facilities can also accept
Medicaid.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So even if you are a bazillionaire,
okay, that's true.
Long-term care it can cost a lot of money, and especially if you have one spouse that's in long-term care and the other spouse is not.
It can drain you.
You want to make sure that spouse that's still at home is protected.
Right.
So I do suggest a lot of people go to an elder law attorney and make sure
Yeah, there are new laws for that,
yes,
too.
there are new laws, and an elder law attorney knows them. I highly recommend elder law attorneys versus just any type of attorney that practices a wide variety of law, because there are certain rules and regulations that you have to follow.
Yeah.
But CarDon communities do take Medicaid. And that's important because sometimes you do need to transition from a private pay situation to a Medicaid situation. And we take Medicaid. Not all communities do.
Right.
And we will work with you to help you file those Medicaid papers. We'll help you transition, and what does that mean, and what does that look like, and that doesn't mean that you get any less care at all, or any less accommodations or anything like that.
You get treated just like everybody else.
You do. You get treated exactly the same. That's our job, is to take care of you no matter what you need in any of our communities.
Well, and another thing, that we haven't touched on yet, Julia, is the fact that CarDon is able to supply resources beyond, like you said, like an estate attorney or an elder attorney.
Right.
You've got other resources of people who can help you with questions you don't even know to ask yet.
Exactly. And we don't know everybody, but we do, have some people that we work with in our communities, and we can steer you in the right direction, so that we want to make sure, whether you stay with us long-term or short-term, that you have the resources you need, that you're safe, and that you're happy in your environment.
Yeah, and safety is a great big one, and that tends to be a lot of why people move or have to move to a retirement facility.
Right. We do things when you're in our communities for rehab to home. So you've had a surgery or some type of significant episode, and you stay with us so that you can get stronger. We actually do a home visit before you go home.
That's true.
So our social worker and our physical therapist or occupational therapist will come out. They'll visit your home. They'll make recommendations. They'll make sure that you are able to get the equipment that you need to be safe. Maybe you need grab bars in the bathroom, on your bathtub, around your toilet. Maybe we need to rearrange the furniture so that your walker or your wheelchair can make it through easier and you can be safer. So we'll go over all of that with you. We don't just say, thanks for staying with us. Yeah. See you later. Bye.
I got to tell you something a little funny, a little bit off the subject, but I got a new shower. My house is 35 years old, and the shower needed to be replaced. And so the company that did it, they go, well, we'll put a grab bar in the shower for you. And I thought, well, heck, I'm only 57. I don't need a grab bar. Well, they put it in, and do you know how many times I've used that grab bar?
And you don't even really need it, so.
Well, I did need it. I'm glad I had it put in, so that's important. And but I know what you're saying, and I think it's important because the hospital won't let you go home either,
right?
If you don't have certain things going on, and
absolutely,
why not go and spend 4 to 6 weeks? Isn't that typically what a hip replacement or knee replacement is?
It's a lot shorter these days.
Is it really?
It's a lot shorter these days. Yeah, because it's wonderful because they keep refining the surgery. So really, it's a lot shorter than that. But we do a lot. When you come to rehab to go home, you work hard to get home, and that's good.
Well, and that's another thing. And I can only really speak about Hamilton Trace because I'm in there every weekend with my mom.
Right.
But the rehab folks, I know Brandon. Do you know Brandon?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a great guy. I think he's been there since y'all opened, too.
I think so, too.
And, boy, and it's not just Brandon. It's a whole group of people that are in there. They know their stuff. And I have heard, again, compliments after compliments. But they work you hard, but they're doing it for a reason.
Right, right. We want to make sure that you progress and that you get strong and you get safe to go home. And that's important. So before you have a surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Any surgery, even if you don't think that you're going to need any rehab services, check out the communities near you. At CarDon, we have a program that's called Planned Ahead. And some surgeries, you can come for rehab prior to your surgery. A lot of orthopedic surgeries, you come in before your surgery so that you can build up your strength.
Oh.
Then have your surgery, and then just stay a couple days and go home.
Couple of days, really?
Because you've already built up that strength.
See, I'm thinking weeks. I broke my kneecap in half one time, and it was 6 months. That was also a long time ago.
And a kneecap's a little different too. It depends on the surgery, the person's health history, how long it'll be.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, and then we give you a little checklist of everything that you need. We give you looks like a little credit card. You can't charge anything on it.
Did you try?
No, I didn't. But, we give you a little plastic card, and you can keep that in your wallet so that when you are at the hospital and your discharge planner meets with you and says, well, you need to go to rehab, here's your sheet of paper. Choose from one of these 50 places.
And you hand them the card.
You hand them the card, say, I already know.
Yeah.
And then...
That's proactive.
Yeah, it makes...
good.
Things easier because then the community knows, hey, Mary Pat's going to be having surgery on February 12th, so we know that she's going to be coming. We'll have her room ready for her.
Okay. Now, that is a lie. I'm not going to have surgery.
No, she is not going to have surgery on the 12th.
Hey, the point of our whole conversation today is plan ahead.
Yes.
Don't wait for things to happen to you. Plan ahead and try and take care of some of the obstacles you're going to have.
Absolutely, and call any CarDon community, and we can walk you through what the process is, what needs to happen, or just answer general questions for you. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, they're very helpful, very helpful. Like I said, my mom is over at Hamilton Trace, and we've been very pleased. She was one of the first people to walk into the building. So anyway, hey, real quick, don't forget, Indy Boomer Magazine is at any Kroger or Marsh store in Indianapolis and the surrounding area, so be sure and get in and pick one up of Jim Davis on the cover, the creator of Garfield. Also, don't forget, on Sunday mornings, we have Boomer TV at 10:30 with Patty Spittler. Great show. We've got a great show lined up for this week, so check that out. And we will see you all here next time.
Thanks,
Julia.
Thanks.